Hi friends, in this lecture video, we'll learn about simple harmonic motion. Okay, so what is simple harmonic motion? When a particle moves in a straight line so that its acceleration is always directed towards a fixed point in the line and proportional to the distance from that point is motion is called simple harmonic motion. Okay, so I have given some examples. The first one is vibrating tuning fork. The second one, a weight on a spring. The third one, a boy on a swing. These are some common example of simple harmonic motion. Let's see some problems based on the simple harmonic motion. And we know that displacement of simple harmonic motion is nothing but x is equal to a into cos root mu t, provided a is your amplitude and root mu t is nothing but the phase. Okay. So, we are having the first problem. A particle is moving with simple harmonic motion, and while making an oscillation from one extreme position to the other, its distances from the center of oscillation at 3 consecutive seconds are x1, x2 and x3. Then we have to prove that the period of oscillation is 2 pi by cos inverse of x1 plus x3 divided by x2. Okay, so we are going to find what is x1, x2 and x3, and if we find x1 plus x3 divided by x2, we'll get the period of oscillation. So solution, we know that x1 is equal to a into cos root mu t, provided root mu t is nothing but the phase and a is the amplitude. This is suppose we are considering for the first simple harmonic motion, and they have given that they have 3 consecutive oscillations. So the next one will be x2 is equal to a into cos of root mu into t plus 1, because it is consecutive, right? So it is t plus 1, and x3 is equal to a into cos of root mu into t plus 2, because it is the next one. So when you multiply with this, it will be a into cos of root mu t plus root mu. Okay, and this will be a into cos of root mu t plus 2 root mu, right? So we just multiply the root mu along with this. So we are having two terms, that means 3 displacements, and we have to find cos inverse of x1 plus x3 divided by x2. So it's just x1 plus x3. So x1 plus x3 is equal to a into cos of root mu into t plus a into cos of root mu t plus 2 root mu. Okay. So we are having two cos terms. A is common so that you can take that outside. So it will be cos of root mu t plus cos of root mu t plus 2 root mu. Okay. So it does look like cos A plus cos B. So we can use the formula. So cos A plus cos B is nothing but 2 into cos of A plus B by 2 into cos of A minus B by 2. So we have to add and divide it by 2, subtract then divided by 2. So it will be A into cos of, we are going to add A and B. So it will be root mu t plus root mu t plus 2 root mu divided by 2, right? And there is a 2 also, so you can write the 2 outside. So 2 into cos of A minus B. A is root mu t and minus B, so you have to multiply with minus, so it will be minus root mu t minus 2 root mu divided by 2. Okay, so this plus mu t and minus mu t will get cancelled. So we are having 2 into A into, it is root mu t plus root mu t, so if you add it will be 2 root mu t. So it is cos of 2 root mu t plus 2 root mu divided by 2 into cos of minus 2 root mu divided by 2. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and this 2 are common. If you take outside, this 2 also will get cancelled, right? Finally you have 2 into A into cos of root mu t plus root mu into cos of minus root mu. So cos of minus theta is cos theta, right? So we can write that as it is. So it will be, and which is equal to, so our x1 plus x3 equal to 2 into a into cos of root mu t plus root mu into cos root mu, because cos of minus root mu is cos root mu. So cos of minus theta is equal to cos theta. So I just eliminate the negative and look at this term. No, is a into cos of mu t plus root mu is nothing but your x2. So I can write this as 2 into x2 plus x1 plus x3 into cos root mu. So when this term comes to another side, that will be in division. So x1 plus x3 divided by 2 into x2, right, which is equal to cos root mu. When this cos go to another side, that will be inverse. So root mu is equal to cos inverse of x1 plus x3 divided by 2x2, right? So we can use the formula. We know that period is equal to 2 pi by root mu. So which is equal to 2 pi divided by cos inverse of x1 plus x3 divided by 2x2. This is what we have to prove. We proved. So the period is, for the 3 consecutive oscillations, the period is 2 pi divided by cos inverse of x1 plus x3 divided by 2x2. Hence the proof. We'll move to the next problem. The second problem, if the displacement of a moving point at any time be given by an equation of the form x is equal to a cos omega t plus b sin omega t. So they have given the displacement in terms of cos and sin. Okay, so x is equal to, solution, x is equal to a cos omega t plus b sin omega t. Okay, so show that the motion is a simple harmonic motion. So we are going to prove that it is a simple harmonic motion, right? So simple harmonic motion means the period is 2 pi by root mu. So that is what we are going to prove. Then, and if a is equal to 3, so they have given a is equal to 3 and b equal to 4 and omega equal to 2. In such case, we have to find the period, amplitude, maximum velocity and maximum acceleration of the motion. So maximum velocity, maximum acceleration. For this, we are going to use the maximum minimum method. Before that, we should know what is maximum minimum method. So in this maximum minimum method, we'll find the maximum point and the minimum point and the saddle point also. So you have to find the first derivative, then second derivative. If the second derivative is greater than 0, we can obtain a minimum point. And if the second derivative is less than 0, we can obtain a maximum point. So here they ask you to find the maximum velocity and maximum acceleration. So we have to check whether our second derivative is less than 0. Okay, so x is equal to a cos omega t plus b sin omega t. We can find the derivative dx by dt. Keep a as it is. So cos omega t, we are differentiate the cos with respect to t. So it will be minus sin omega t. But if you differentiate omega itself, there will be a omega. So minus omega sin omega t plus, so it is sin omega t, derivative will be cos omega t and omega t derivative will be omega. So omega into b into cos omega t. If you differentiate once again, that is g square x by dt square, this will be minus omega a, and if you differentiate sin omega t, it will be omega into cos omega t, okay, plus omega b into cos omega t derivative will be minus omega into sin omega t. So finally we'll get minus omega square a cos omega t minus omega square b sin omega t. Okay, so minus omega square is common. So if you take minus omega square, it will be a cos omega t plus b sine omega t. It is nothing but our x, right? It is minus omega square x. It is less than 0. Look at this. Your second derivative is less than 0. So it will obtain a maximum point. Okay. Only when your first derivative is equal to 0. Right. So we in general we know the displacement as x is equal to a cos root nu t. Okay. So here we have cos omega t. So we can consider our root mu is equal to omega. So mu is equal to omega square. Anyhow, root mu is nothing but 2. Right. So we have root mu is equal to 2. And we can find the period. They ask you to find period, right? So by using the formula, period is equal to 2 pi by root mu. So that is 2 pi by 2, that is equal to 5. So it is period 5. So we are going to find the amplitude by using the say first derivative, by making the first derivative to be equal to 0. Okay. So the first derivative dx by dt equal to 0. So which implies that minus omega a sin omega t plus omega b cos omega t. We are making that to be equal to 0, so it is equal to 0. So minus omega a sin omega t is equal to, when this omega b cos omega t go to another side, that will be negative. So minus omega b cos omega t. Omega and negative will get cancelled. Finally, we will have a and b. So we can find the value of omega t when combining the sine and cos term together. So it will be sin omega t divided by cos omega t is equal to b by e. Okay. So substitute the value of a, b and omega. So sin 2t divided by cos 2t is equal to, b is nothing but 4 and a is nothing but 3, which will have tan 2t is equal to 4 by 3. So when you use the tan formula, you know that it is nothing but opposite by adjacent. Okay. When your opposite side is 4 and adjacent side is 3, we can use, I can find the hypotenuse by using the Pythagoras theorem. So hypotenuse is nothing but the square root of opposite square plus the adjacent square. So it will be square root of 4 square plus 3 square equal to root 16 plus 9, which is equal to root 25. It is nothing but 5. So your hypotenuse is 5. So tan 2t we know. So sin 2t. Sin 2t is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. So opposite we know it is 4 and hypotenuse is 5. Okay, so it is 4 by 5. And cos 2t is adjacent by hypotenuse. So adjacent side, adjacent is 3. So that is 3 by 5. So we know cos 2t sin 2t. So we can substitute all these value in x. Okay. So we can obtain the maximum value by substituting these values in x. So x is equal to a cos omega t plus b sin omega t. So a is 3. So it is 3 into cos omega is 2. So omega t plus b is 4. B sin omega is 2. So it is 2t. We know the value of cos 2t. So it is 3 into cos 2t is 3 by 5 plus 4 into sin 2t is 4 by 5. So it is 9 by 5 plus 16 by 5. It is 25 by 5. Finally it is 5. So your x is equal to 5. So this is the amplitude. Okay. This is your amplitude. Okay. Next we are going to find the maximum acceleration and maximum velocity. Maximum acceleration is nothing but mu into amplitude that is mu is 4 because root mu is 2, so mu is 4 and your amplitude is 5, so it will be 20 and maximum velocity is nothing but root mu into amplitude, that is root mu is 2, so 2 into 5, that will be 10. So we found the period and the amplitude and maximum acceleration and maximum velocity. Okay, we'll move to the next problem. A horizontal shelf moves vertically with simple harmonic motion whose complete period is 1 second. So they have given that the time period is 1 second, okay? And find the greatest amplitude in centimeters. So we are converting that into centimeters. It can have so that an object resting on a shelf may also remain in contact. So that is what they are given. Solution. Before the solution, we'll just draw a diagram which represents the situation. So this is a shelf, okay. It is a horizontal shelf and we consider that there is a object. So this object we can consider this as some okay, something is there and the point of contact at the center point is O and we know that position of the object is P. So this distance we can consider that as X. Okay, right. So these are the things we derived from the these are we derived from the question. So let m be the mass of the object lying on the shelf. So we are going to denote some values. So m, the mass of an object lying on shelf. O be the center of SHM, simple harmonic motion, and P be the position of m at time t, and our OP is equal to x. So there are two forces are acting on the mass. So the first one is the weight, right? It is acting vertically downwards, and the next one is the normal reaction against the weight. Okay, so the first one is the weight. The weight is nothing but mass into the gravitational force, and it is acting vertically downwards. That is positive because towards the gravitational force, so it is positive. This is the first force, okay, force 1, and force 2, it is the opposite reaction, so it is against the gravitational force. So the normal reaction okay, so it is R acting upwards. This negative, okay. So these are the two forces acting on a object P. So we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? So force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? And what is this force? This force is nothing but F1 plus F2. So F1 plus F2 is equal to mass into acceleration. Your F1 is mg, okay, and the normal reaction R, but it is acting upwards, so it is negative. So minus R, which is equal to m into A. From this we can find our A, okay. So which implies that A is equal to mg minus R divided by m. it is acceleration on the mass. Okay. They have given the force is moving with the simple harmonic motion towards O. So it is equal to the acceleration. So the force is moving with simple harmonic motion towards O, which should be equal to the acceleration at P so it is a force moving with SHM. So it is nu into PO. We know that PO is nothing but our x, and the acceleration at P is mg minus r divided by m, which we derived in the previous slide. So it is mu x is equal to mg minus r divided by m. From this we can find our r, right? So it will be m mu x. So it will be m mu x is equal to mg minus r. So when this r go to that side, it will be positive. So r is equal to mg minus mu x. M is common, so that you can take outside. It will be g minus mu x. R is equal to g minus mu x. Mark it as equation 1. And we know that period is 1. So period, the formula is 2 pi by root nu, and that is equal to 1. So which implies that 2 pi is equal to root nu, right? Or else mu is equal to 4 pi square. Mark it as equation 2. Okay. So we are going to find the value of x. So next one. Substitute the second equation in the first equation so that we can substitute the value of mu. So substitute 2 in 1. This implies that your capital R is equal to m into g minus mu x, which is equal to m into g minus mu is 4 pi square, so 4 pi square x. Okay. So the mass is contact with the shelf reaction, it must be negative, right? Contact with the shelf must not be negative. So the remaining term is negative. Okay. So R is greater than 0 and mass is greater than 0. So the remaining value only we are considering. So it is g minus 4 pi square x, that is greater than or equal to 0. From this we can find our x value. Oh, okay, so it will be g is greater than or equal to 4 pi square x, or else g by 4 pi square is greater than or equal to x, or else x is less than or equal to g by 4 pi square. They have mentioned that in centimeter, but we know that g is equal to 9.81 meters per second, and so it will be converted into centimeters. So you have to multiply with 100, it will be 981. So 981 divided by 4 into 3.14 the whole square, it is approximately 24.8 centimeter. So finally we found the answer. Thank you. I'll meet you with some more problems in the simple harmonic motion in other video. Thank you.